Have you ever been that child that whenever there's a family gathering and there is a need to pray for someone, you're the one everyone is praying for. You're the one everyone is intervening for. Everyone is praying for you. Have you ever fallen into such situation, be it family, work, or friends gathering? Have you ever found yourself in such a scenario whereby everyone wants to pray for you for something? Probably there's a delay in your life. Join me while we dive into the story of ZIKORA. In the beautiful city of Abuja, there lived a very beautiful, young, talented baker named ZIKORA. ZIKORA was that perfect child. Right from when ZIKORA was growing up, she had it all. She had the beautiful handwriting, the beautiful nails. ZIKORA and her sister, Chisom, had everything in life. Their family had money. They were given the best education. Everyone surrounding them were good. So they thought. But with the passing days, as ZIKORA grew up to be a full-grown woman, she realized that she was missing out on a lot. Her cousins, her relatives, almost everyone around her had a very bright future. They were married, they had good businesses, everything was going on for them. Whereas for she and Chisom, things felt like they were not going on well. It felt like things were slow. This is the story of ZIKORA. So let's talk about ZIKORA. After ZIKORA turned 25, she was done with university. She had her own very big baking shop. She sold cake. She was the best baker in town. Everyone wanted to have a taste of her cake. ZIKORA was that good. In fact, ZIKORA baked most of her relatives' cake, be it wedding, birthday, anniversary, anything they had to do. ZIKORA was the one baking it. In fact, her mom made it a point of duty for ZIKORA to always bake her relatives' cake, especially the wedding ones. She would tell ZIKORA, ZIKORA, you are sowing a seed into your life. The more you bake your relative cake, you're sowing that seed so that you can find your own man. ZIKORA, soonest you'll be turning 30. What do you want to do with your life? Will you remain single for life? Are you not thinking about settling down? Are you not thinking about getting a man that loves you for who you are? ZIKORA often told her mom, Mama, do you think I've not tried? I have seen hell heartfully from all the men both you and Auntie have introduced me to. I have dated all the Tom, Dick and Harry in the city of Abuja. Mama, I'm tired. I am tired of going for wrong dates, wrong blind dates, because blind dates that turn out being horror. It doesn't make sense, Mama, now. Can you imagine? Imagine me going out on a date and only to find out that this person was just there to know who I am. Not like the person was interested in me. Mama, I'm tired of all this. I am believing in God, and soon as my man will come. Her friends always had something to say concerning her single life. Whenever they were talking, they always had something to say about their family. You know, my husband got me this. Oh, do you remember the last time we traveled to Italy? My husband got me this. And other ones will have something to say about their children. And they will turn to ZIKORA and say, Ziki, did I tell you? Jaden came out the best in his class this semester. And ZIKORA will always lump herself in pain. She was just there to sit down and listen to their achievements, whereas all she had to herself was a bakery shop. And yeah, she was also good at saving money, getting real estate and so many others, but all these things didn't amount to joy to her because the social pressure was there, the family pressure was there, everyone was pressurizing her left, right, center. At some point, her mom had even taken her name to the pastor to intercede on her behalf. So ZIKORA had the pressure coming round. Not like she didn't want to get married, but it looked like as if she didn't want to, because most people they've introduced her to were all wrong for her. But no one was understanding it that way. It was like she was being too selective. How can someone get married to someone that is not really interested in her but her wealth? Not for her now. She had already suffered a lot. Waiting for the right man. It has to be the right man, oh, ZIKORA told herself. So with the passing days, ZIKORA had come to work one day and had seen a man in front of her shop while she was trying to open the shop. This man looked tattered. Not tattered in the sense of wearing torn clothes, but he was dressed well, but he looked like someone that was beaten mercilessly, someone that was attacked, someone that was traveling to a different location and had an accident, but she couldn't comprehend what was going on. But she knew this person looked rich, as the clothes he was putting on was a very known brand. But he wasn't looking decent enough to call him a gentleman. And she was still trying to understand what he was doing in front of her shop. She quickly tapped the gentleman and said, "Excuse me, sir, I would like to open for the day." This gentleman looked at her and asked her, "Please, can you save me? I just need water." To which ZIKORA said, "No problem, it's just water." She quickly went by a supermarket, got a bottle of water for this man and gave to him. But the moment he drank the water, he collapsed. That was when fear entered ZIKORA's body. All she did was to give this man a bottle of water. Who is even going to believe her story? She quickly called for help and rushed the stranger to the clinic. On arrival to the clinic, the medical doctors were doing everything possible to get this man stable. At some point, ZIKORA was even scared to report the case to the police. Before they arrest her, what if this man passed? What was she going to say? Who was even there to bear her witness that she did not do anything to the man? ZIKORA stayed in the hospital and waited till when he was okay. After he was breathing fine through an oxygen, ZIKORA had to return back to work to carry out her day-to-day activities. She had informed the doctors to please call her if the man opens his eyes. But with the passing days, it felt like this stranger was struggling to live, as he had not opened his eyes. It felt like he had even entered a partial coma. Everything the doctors did not make him wake up immediately. So the fear kept on building. And one day, she had opened up to her friend, Ada, and told Ada what had happened that day when she had come to work. Ada, being a trumpet mouth, told it to all her friends that ZIKORA was housing a total stranger. And when she was hanging out with the girls, one of the friends quickly said, "Zik, I heard you are housing a total stranger. Are you that desperate to get married to anyone now?" This was when ZIKORA knew that some informations can't just be passed the way it is being said. She never said she was housing a total stranger. And where is all this talk coming from? And she quickly turned to Ada and said, "Ada, I don't understand. What do you mean? What are you trying to say? I'm not housing anybody. I only told you he's in the hospital. How is that me housing a total stranger?" Her friends quickly told her, "ZIKORA, you met someone in front of your shop and you even carried him to the hospital without knowing who he is. What if he's a thief? What if he's an armed robber? Are you that good to everybody? ZIKORA, please, be wise." ZIKORA wasn't ready to listen to whatever they had to say. To her, they were mocking her. This wasn't someone advising a fellow friend. This was someone trying to mock a fellow friend. So she made up her mind not to listen to whatsoever they had to say. She just told herself she was trying to get this man stable so that she can have peace of mind. Why is nobody trying to understand her? Because she's not married and she helped someone that is a man. So now the table is turning around that she's being desperate. This is total rubbish. She stood up and left. But when she got back to her office, she couldn't just think of what to do. This man should just wake up so she could have peace. Because if this information should get to the ears of her mom, she knows how her mom is going to talk about getting the police involved. In less than 2 days, the whole talk has gotten to the ears of her mom. And her mom ran to her house with speed and alacrity and told ZIKORA to go get the police involved so that if anything should happen much later in life, her daughter won't end up in prison. And ZIKORA had to get the police involved. Thank God she did, because the moment she went to report the situation to the police had also informed her that the man's parents were also in search of him. ZIKORA was really glad that she had even listened to her mom. ZIKORA had to wait in the police station for the stranger's parents to come, and when they had arrived, ZIKORA took them to the clinic where their son was lying down. He could not be transferred to another hospital immediately, so the parent had to stay with him till he was okay. After Afame Ifuna recovered, he quickly asked for the lady who had helped save him, knowing fully well that he had pleaded with everyone before ZIKORA had come to her place of work that morning. After what had happened to him, he had pleaded with everyone to even give him a glass of water or help call his parents, but no one did. It was only ZIKORA that even gave him a glass of water. So he asked about ZIKORA, to which his parents told him that ZIKORA was in her place of work and gave him her complimentary card. Afame Ifuna and his parents returned back to their place. So, when Afam was stable, he had taken 1 week to properly recover. He gave ZIKORA a phone call to thank her for everything she had done. He even asked if they could have dinner. He just wanted to tell her thank you for saving his life. ZIKORA said no problem, and she told him to fix the date that she was going to make herself available. So, Afam fixed the date, and ZIKORA and Afam met at a very beautiful fancy restaurant. To ZIKORA's greatest surprise, she found out that Afam was also staying in Abuja, just that they had never crossed paths. While they conversed, she found out that Afam had already pre-planned his life. He knew when he wanted to get married. He knew when he wanted to have his first child. He had everything figured out. ZIKORA was so impressed. She had not met someone that already knows what he wants to do in the next 20 to 30 years. That was the kind of person Afam was. So ZIKORA quickly asked him what had happened to him and why he found himself at her vicinity. Afam explained everything. How his own friend, Kanayo, betrayed him because of a business transaction. Yes, it was a multinational business transaction. Kanayo plotted the whole robbery while they were trying to go meet the investors. So, Kanayo stole his idea and submitted it to the investors. But thank God, the major file that Kanayo was supposed to use for this wasn't available. It was with him. It wasn't in the car. It wasn't in the bag. It was with him in his pocket. As he forgot to put the major USB drive in his laptop bag, it was inside his pocket. So after the whole robbery had taken place, Kanayo left him and went to the investors to present the whole business idea, but he lost it as he wasn't the mastermind for it. ZIKORA really felt bad for him, being that his own best friend went that far to betray him. But with the passing days, Afam and ZIKORA always kept in touch, as they always made themselves one way or the other. ZIKORA then understood that the moment she got to know Afam, she tended to meet him in one event or the other. If she wasn't meeting him in a wedding, she was meeting him in a family birthday or something of such. One way or the other, they get to cross paths. And with time, Afam decided to know more about ZIKORA. Their age difference was just 1 year. ZIKORA was turning 30 soon, and Afam was already 31. And with the passing days, ZIKORA and Afam catching up, talking to one another, living in the moment, sharing their dreams, their passion, their 10 years goals, their 50 years goals. Afam found interest in ZIKORA. She was the kind of lady he wanted to get married to. Not because she was ambitious or down to earth, but she had a clear mind. She had a clear spirit. And with the passing days, Afam got married to ZIKORA. This was the most exciting moment in ZIKORA's family. Her mom was glad, her dad was glad. Her senior sister Chisom was also glad, as Chisom felt that this was a breakthrough for them. If ZIKORA can break the chain of not getting married, that means she was going to be getting married soon. ZIKORA was really excited. She was happy to be married. At least now she wasn't going to hear her friends try to mock her in the name of my husband did this or my husband did that. She was really excited and she started looking forward to giving birth. ZIKORA wanted to take in quick and fast. She didn't want any delay. She was already 30 at that time, so it was time for her to start giving birth. She was even ready to give birth to the children. One year interval. She was ready for anything. But things did not come as planned as ZIKORA waited for a child. 1 year passed, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. ZIKORA felt trapped in her home. She kept on questioning God. Is life always supposed to choose one way to bring pain to her? First, she got married late. Now, it's time for her to give birth and no one is coming forth. This was something she couldn't fathom. She kept on crying every day. After being someone that had pre-planned his life, had to be patient with his wife as they had visited numerous doctors and they told them they were both okay. ZIKORA held on to God. She kept on praying. She cried. She prayed. She waited and waited on God. And when ZIKORA was about to give up on the process and go adopt a child, she had made up her mind that after her 5th wedding anniversary, she was going to go adopt a child. 2 days to the 5th wedding anniversary, ZIKORA started throwing up. And when she was rushed to the clinic, lo and behold, ZIKORA was pregnant. And during the period of carrying her pregnancy, ZIKORA had a terrible dream. In this dream, she saw herself fighting with a woman for her children. At that time, she never knew what she was carrying, whether it was a boy, a girl, twins or not. But that dream felt so real. She fought and fought and fought like her life depended on it. This woman stood like a stronghold, refusing to let go of her children. ZIKORA prayed. At some point when it felt like she was powerless, ZIKORA knelt down. In this thick evil forest, in her dream, ZIKORA commanded the Holy Ghost to come and take preeminence. That life cannot cheat her twice. She cannot get married late and be deprived of children. ZIKORA kept on praying and crying in her dream. Unknown to her, she was crying and praying out loud that Afam had to wake her up from her dream. And the moment she woke up, she told Afam everything that had happened in her dream world. Afam knew it wasn't the time to start saying baby it was okay or anything. They both went down on their knees and started praying. They prayed intensively that they didn't know when it was a new day, as they kept on praying and crying and begging God that this baby should stay and not go. After that dream, ZIKORA made it a point of duty never to leave the presence of God. She prayed earnestly. She started commanding the Holy Spirit, confessing positive into her womb. ZIKORA prayed from the first moment she heard she was pregnant till the moment she brought forth her twins, as she gave birth to a baby boy and a baby girl. ZIKORA was happy. Her pregnancy was a smooth journey. Yes, it was backed up with prayer, but nothing, no sickness, no back pain. She prayed and won the victory against that strong woman that was affecting her in her dream world. ZIKORA won that battle and she was glad. After ZIKORA gave birth, she made sure to limit the people that had come to visit her, being that she didn't know who she was fighting against. So she was very, very careful. Even during the naming of the baby, she made sure it was just family members. Main family members, no extended relative, just her main family members. She was very, very concerned on what she had seen in her dream before she brought forth her kids. ZIKORA backed every day of her life with prayer, making sure that nothing strange came her way or the ways of her kids. And it was during this period, one of her Auntie Nkechi, the most trusted of them all, sat down in her living room, laughing like a very wicked woman. And she told herself, does she think that limiting our visit to the baby is going to stop us from haunting her? She thinks she has a bright future. She shouldn't worry. There are still ways to tame a dog. if we can hold her from getting married on time, and we can also hold her from giving birth to children, we will also make those children not to have a bright star. So Auntie Nkechi thought to herself. But this time around, she was not going to win the battle, because ZIKORA had made up her mind never to leave the presence of God. So it was time for Auntie Nkechi to focus only on Chisom, as Auntie Nkechi, their father's eldest sister, was the chief witch tormenting the two siblings. ZIKORA and her family lived in peace. They grew, they were healthy and wealthy. Auntie Nkechi wasn't able to hurt she or her children. ZIKORA did not just give birth to good kids, but she went on to give birth to a total of 5 children. Afam and ZIKORA lived in peace. Afam being a strong prayer warrior, ZIKORA also being a very strong prayer warrior, Auntie Nkechi couldn't hurt them anymore. She wasn't able to penetrate into their home, as whenever she tries to strike, she is constantly reminded that Afam has a strong spirit holding him, and the kids carry his blood. So she was not able to hurt any of ZIKORA's kids. The moral lesson of the story today is being patient and holding on God. ZIKORA would have entered a very terrible marriage if she was too desperate and gotten married to whoever came her way. Much later in life, she got married to someone who was also in line with the will of God for her. Probably Afam was her destined husband, just that her wicked auntie has been tying her down all along. And also, being a good Samaritan can pay off. Being that, who knows, probably it was her act of kindness that broke the shackles of not being married. Probably, no one could say. Also, holding tight on God is something we as Christians should always do. If she wasn't a good Christian, probably her auntie's torment would have come true for her. Just imagine being delayed as a lady, not being able to get married on time, and not also being able to give birth to children. Some people are wicked for no good reasons. Much later, in the forthcoming story, we're going to share the story of her sister Chisom. In that story, we're also going to enlighten more about Auntie Nkechi and why Auntie Nkechi came for the heads of these 2 girls. Will still remain your favorite storyteller, Zika. Please, I would like you to share what you've learned from our story. And I would also like you to share our stories to your loved ones. This story serves as encouragement one way or the other to people. It can also serve as moral lessons to people. So we'll see you again in our next story. Bye for now.